This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now Duane Toews and Doug Shoup discuss winter wheat.
Duane Toews joining you once again here on Ag AM in Kansas, and a chance to catch up with Doug Shoup with K-State Research and Extension out of the Southeast area office. And Doug, you had an opportunity to talk to some producers recently about utilization of winter wheat. It seems like our neighbors to the south certainly graze more of it than we do in the state of Kansas in particular, and it leaves some wondering why we don't utilize that crop maybe to a bigger extent.
Yeah, I think there's a number of factors. One is that we do grow pretty good wheat here, and I think producers do try to maximize their grain yields. But the other thing that kind of hurts us some is that we're a little bit further north, so the falls cool down quicker and the springs warm up later, and so our growing season's a little more compressed than theirs are. But really, you kind of run the numbers, and wheat's kind of tough to pencil out grain-wise, and there is some opportunity there looking at a 120-day grazing season to make some money, putting stockers out there, grazing that wheat, and utilizing it from that standpoint.
We think about doing that. Obviously, there's some considerations to keep in mind, both on a fertility side and then management of it as well.
That's right. If you're assuming you are going to take it to grain, there's a few things that you have to adjust when you go to using it for grazing and grain. One is at a higher seeding rate. You're going to need that. We see that the maximum yields on the forage side of things really top out at about 120 pounds of seed to the acre. Going to go the old poundage per acre recommendation there. So you're going to have to bump your seeding rates up a little bit. The other thing is that those animals are grazing. They're going to remove some nitrogen, but they're also going to kind of redistribute some nitrogen out there as well as they recycle it. So to not lose any on the grain side, you are going to have to bump your nitrogen rates up some as well. That really depends on what your stocking rate is, or at least what your beef per acre gain you plan to get off at the end. It's anywhere from 30 pounds up to 50, maybe 60 pounds, depending on how heavy you want to stock those and how big the animals are going into it.
I know that there's some technology things that we have today that make some of those decisions easier as well.
Yeah, so the Oklahoma State crew, they've been doing a lot of grazing research for years. Of course they should. Half the acres down there are probably grazed for wheat. So we lean on them for a lot of our information. They've developed some really handy tools that help in producers managing their wheat for grazing. One that's really neat, that's free. It's an app called Canopeo. You can download that for free on your Android or your iPhone device. What it does essentially is measure the amount of green mass that you still have out there in the field, and you want to try and maintain 50 to 60% green leaf cover on your ground if you want to try to maintain a good healthy wheat plant and try not to reduce any of your grain yields when it comes to taking those animals off. So you really need to keep about 50 to 60%. That Canopeo app, it takes a picture, it measures the amount of greenness in that picture, and kind of gives you a rough idea of what your canopy is.
Our thanks to Doug Shoup with K-State Research and Extension out of the Southeast area, joining us here on Ag AM in Kansas. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Come back after the break for this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update.
This is Eric Stonestreet, and as many of you know, I love my home state of Kansas. In March, Kansas ranchers lost homes, equipment, and thousands of cattle from the largest wildfires in the state's history. Imagine losing all you have in a fire. Not just your house, but your livelihood. Ranchers are beginning to rebuild, but it will take years and tens of millions of dollars to build back herds, fences, and other infrastructure. Today, I'm asking you to help. Donate what you can and show your support to the ranchers of Kansas. Simply go to kansasfires.com. Your donation is tax deductible and will go to those who need it the most.